Hello everyone, welcome to New Wealth Japan. I'm thrilled to have you here today. This channel is dedicated to helping travelers from around the world discover and experience the very best of Japan. From ancient temples and historic castles that have stood for centuries, to the vibrant world of anime, unique Japanese souvenirs, and incredible cuisine that will tantalize your taste buds, we cover it all. Japan is a country where tradition meets innovation, where you can enjoy a traditional tea ceremony in the morning and explore cutting-edge technology districts in the afternoon. It's this beautiful contrast that makes Japan so fascinating. We're passionate about sharing hidden gems, travel tips, and cultural insights that will make your Japanese adventure unforgettable. Whether you're planning your first trip or you're a seasoned Japan traveler, we've got something special for you. I'm truly grateful that so many people from all corners of the world share this passion for Japanese culture with us. Your enthusiasm and curiosity inspire every video we create. So sit back, relax, and let's explore Japan together. Let's get started.
Ueda Castle is a flatland castle located in Ueda City, Nagano Prefecture, built on a river terrace along the Chikuma River. Constructed in 1583 by Sanada Masayuki, this castle is renowned for its solid defensive facilities and skillful layout. Sanada Masayuki famously repelled large Tokugawa armies twice, earning fame for his tactical victories. After the Battle of Sekigahara, Sanada Nobuyuki became the castle lord, followed by the Sengoku and Matsudaira clans. Today, it is maintained as Ueda Castle Ruins Park, where the stone walls and turrets of the main enclosure convey its former appearance. As a castle associated with the Sanada clan, it attracts many history enthusiasts as a celebrated fortress.
Alright, let's set the scene. The year is 1585. Japan is just a mess of civil war. And right in the middle of it all, you've got this one small clan about to go up against an absolute empire. So what's their secret weapon? Well, it's a brand new fortress built with one single, ruthless purpose: to be completely unbeatable. This is the story of Ueda Castle. And when I see the odds were impossible, I am not kidding. I mean, just look at this. You have the Sanada clan with a tiny force of 2,000 soldiers. And who are they up against? Oh, just a massive army of 8,000 men sent by one of the most powerful figures in all of Japan, the future shogun himself, Tokugawa Ieyasu. I mean, come on, 2,000 versus 8,000? This isn't supposed to be a battle. On paper, this is a straight-up execution. But see, the leader of the Sanada, a guy named Masayuki, he was not your average warlord. So when Tokugawa Ieyasu comes knocking and demands he hand over his lands, Masayuki doesn't just say no. He completely breaks his allegiance and sides with one of Tokugawa's rivals. Now, you gotta understand, even in an age where loyalties shifted all the time, this was a huge deal. A shocking act of defiance. And, well, it's what kicks off the whole thing, the first Battle of Ueda. So you might be thinking this Sanada Masayuki guy is all talk, right? Just a bit of bravado? But no. His confidence was rooted in something very, very real. A secret weapon he had just finished building, Ueda Castle. He was smart. He knew his tiny army stood no chance in a fair fight out in the open. So he built a fortress designed to be the ultimate game changer, the ultimate force multiplier.
And let me tell you, Ueda Castle was not built to look pretty. It was a machine, pure and simple, a machine for killing. The whole design was ruthlessly practical. For starters, it's sitting on these sheer cliffs, the Amagafuchi cliffs, which means a southern attack, totally impossible. Then, the main part of the castle, the main bailey, it was surrounded by 7 two-story turrets. This created these deadly, overlapping fields of fire. There was literally nowhere for an attacker to hide.
But here's the real genius of it. Masayuki wasn't just planning to hide behind his shiny new walls and wait it out. Oh no, he had this brilliant and frankly ruthless 3-step plan. Step 1, bait the huge Tokugawa army into the castle town. Step 2, spring a killer ambush from the main bailey. And for step 3, well, for anyone lucky enough to escape that, he had one last devastating surprise up his sleeve. And unbelievably, it worked. It worked perfectly. The Tokugawa army, totally overconfident, sees this small group of Sanada soldiers fall back. They think, ha, this is easy, and they charge right into the castle's second bailey. And that's when the trap snaps shut. Suddenly, hidden soldiers are attacking from the sides. Archers and gunmen start firing down from the main bailey above. It's absolute chaos. In a heartbeat, the hunters had become the hunted.
So the Tokugawa army just breaks. They turn and they run. Panicked soldiers are scrambling to get back across the Konda River. And right when they're in the middle of the water, that's when Masayuki plays his final, brilliant card. His men release a dam they'd secretly built just upstream. A wall of water comes surging down the river, washing away hundreds of those fleeing soldiers. It was brutal, but what a genius final move.
The aftermath? I mean, the numbers are just staggering. The Sanada clan lost only 40 men. 40. The mighty Tokugawa army, remember, 4 times their size, they lost over 1,300. It was one of the most lopsided victories of the entire era. And just like that, thanks to his incredible strategy and his perfectly designed fortress, Sanada Masayuki's name was on everyone's lips across Japan.
So the legend of Ueda Castle was forged right there, in that incredible battle. And get this, it would even fight off a second Tokugawa siege years later. But the castle's greatest enemy, the one threat that would truly bring it to its knees, wasn't going to be another army. Nope, it was going to be peace. And that brings up a really interesting question, right? What happens to a fortress when there's no more fighting? This question really defines the entire second act of Ueda's story. For centuries, castles like this were the absolute centers of power. But as Japan unified and the age of the samurai drew to a close, these incredible symbols of war faced a brand new threat, something they weren't designed to fight. They just became obsolete. And man, the decline was swift, and it was brutal. Once the samurai class was gone, the castle was simply abandoned. Just 5 years later, most of its buildings were sold off for scrap metal. And the only reason the last original turret survived? A private citizen bought it and, wait for it, turned it into part of a brothel. I'm not making that up. By the 1920s, this once unbeatable fortress was just a messy patchwork of public stuff and farmland. You can really see the castle's identity crisis here. I mean, its huge moats, they were filled in to make a baseball field and a running track. A big civic hall was plunked down right on top of where the main gate's defenses used to be. It had completely lost its way. It wasn't a fortress anymore. It was just a public park that, happened to have some old walls lying around. But thankfully, the story doesn't end in a baseball field. In the late 20th century, the people of Ueda started to look around and realize what a treasure they had lost. And so, a whole new kind of battle began. This time, it wasn't against an invading army. It was a fight against neglect, against the passage of time itself, with a bold new plan to restore the castle to its former glory. Okay, so first things first. The top priority was to bring back the heart of the castle. That meant focusing on the main bailey, the Honmaru, and rebuilding that massive East Gate complex. The very spot where Tokugawa's army got trapped. The idea was to bring back that imposing, powerful feeling of a real, battle-ready fortress. And this is super important. The plan wasn't just about stacking up stones again. It was also about preserving the natural landscape. Remember those Amagafuchi cliffs? They were just as crucial to the castle's defense as any wall. So protecting that terrain was absolutely key to understanding why the castle was so effective in the first place. Now you have to understand, this was not a quick fix. We're talking about a multi-generational project here. The short-term goals, things like excavating the site and rebuilding that main gate, yeah, those are mostly done. But the big, long-term stuff, like getting rid of the modern sports facilities and completely restoring the moats, that's still a work in progress, even today. And the actual process? It is incredibly meticulous. Take the earthen ramparts, for example. They can't just bring in a bulldozer and clear it out. No, they have to carefully preserve the original 16th century earthwork inside the new wall, like an archaeological treasure. It's this amazing, delicate dance between modern engineering and historical preservation. Which brings us to today. The castle looks more like a proper fortress than it has in over 100 years, which is fantastic. But this whole transformation has created a brand new set of really complex challenges. Yeah, the battle for Ueda Castle's future isn't fought with swords and arrows anymore. It's fought in city planning meetings. Think about it. How do you balance historical accuracy with the fact that the public absolutely loves this place as a park? For example, the famous cherry trees all over the grounds. They're beautiful, but totally inaccurate for the time period. Still, they bring in tons of tourists. Or, how do you make a 16th century fortress accessible for someone in a wheelchair? These are the tough new battles being fought every day. And this really gets to the heart of the conflict. The castle has to wear two hats. On one hand, the goal is to create this authentic, historically accurate Sengoku period castle. But on the other hand, it's a much-loved city park, a place people go to relax and have fun. So every single decision, from what kind of pavement to use on the paths, to whether you cut down a tree to show off an old wall, you have to weigh these two competing identities.
And this really shows you that duality perfectly. On one side, you've got the grand vision, the blueprint for a fully restored fortress. And on the other, you have the reality of today, a beautiful, very popular park that's still very much work in progress. You can spot the beautifully restored gate, for sure, but you can also see that civic hall that still needs to be moved, and the moat that's still a running track. It really shows you how far they've come, but also how far they still have to go. Ultimately, the story of Ueda Castle kind of leaves us all with this one big question. Sure, it's an incredible story of military genius, but it's also a story about what we as a society choose to preserve and what those choices say about us today. Here you have a castle literally built for war that's now a place of peace. And its ongoing restoration really shows us that keeping history alive is so much more than just rebuilding old walls. It's about the hard work of thoughtfully finding a place for a warrior's past in our peaceful, modern world.
And that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed exploring this part of Japan with us. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more travelers like you who love Japan. And here's the most important part. If you haven't already, please subscribe to New Wealth Japan and hit that notification bell. By turning on notifications, you'll be the first to know whenever we upload a new video. We post new content regularly, featuring different destinations, food experiences, and cultural insights across Japan, so you won't want to miss out. Now, we'd love to hear from you. Do you have any questions about what we covered today? Is there a specific place in Japan you'd like us to feature in an upcoming video? Maybe a particular Japanese dish you're curious about, or a cultural tradition you want to learn more about? Please share your thoughts, questions, and suggestions in the comments below. We read every single comment, and your feedback helps shape our future content. Also, if you've been to Japan before, we'd love to hear about your experiences. Share your favorite memories or travel tips with our community. Let's learn from each other. Thank you so much for watching and for being part of our New Wealth Japan family. Your support means the world to us. Until next time, safe travels, and see you in the next video. Sayonara.